The question is, what's the most common email marketing program killers that you have come across?
I think it's really difficult to kill an email program. I mean, one of the kind of sad truths about email marketing is that you can do email marketing like kind of not all that well and still generate like a decent ROI. Um,
That's
which,
sad.
I think it's sort of sad. It means that a lot of brands like leave a lot of money on the table because they're just like, I think there's a lot of like people settling for good enough. They're like, oh, that's good enough, especially if they're comparing it to, their
Mm-hmm.
TV or radio ads or other, traditional channels. The ROI on email is so strong that a lot of people are like, oh, all right, that's great. Email's not on fire. Email's doing fantastic, so we'll just turn our attention over to these other channels that are really struggling and let's invest a lot of money there.
You think that's why
That's
we're
the opposite of what I would do.
yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
that's exactly my point. Do you think that's why email is always underfunded?
I do think that's a big part of the reason why email is chronically underfunded is that there's a lot of like good enough, a lot of people settling, and I also think that also sometimes like people like misunderstand like they misunderstand return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot of brands, kind of laud that they get like 80 to 1 return on investment with email. I heard one company bragging about how they get like 100 to 1 return on their investment in their email marketing program. And to me, like they were super proud
Yeah,
of that. And to me, hearing that, I think, oh my gosh, you're doing it totally
it was
wrong.
one of the
Like you
ESPs. Yeah.
well, so yeah, there was one ESP recently talking about like what a high
Yeah.
ROI all of
Mm-hmm.
their
Mm-hmm.
clients get, and so like when I see numbers like that, I think, oh my goodness, like you were doing this all wrong. You're stopping way too soon. You're grabbing all the low-hanging fruit and you're skipping off on your merry way when you're just leaving like a tree full of fruit. Like you just reach up a little bit higher. You should be doing more work and getting lower returns, right? If you're achieving 100 to 1, return on investment on your email marketing program, you need to be looking for more programs, more initiatives that you can do that would get 80 to 1, 60 to 1, 40 to 1, even 20 to
Yeah.
1. Like there's a ton more things you could be doing that would be, yes, delivering lower returns on your investment, but you would be growing your total return, your absolute return. You'd be growing, you'd be making more money, which is the whole point. Nobody sets out um, you want good
Mm-hmm.
margins for sure, but most companies, like given the chance to have really high rates of return versus really high returns, would choose really high returns. And so I feel like there's like a little bit of like we've kind of done our industry a little bit of a
Yeah.
disservice on focusing on ROI so much because I think it leads to people stopping way too
Mm-hmm.
soon and leaving just tons and tons of money on the table. So lately the analogy I've been using is a Vegas a Vegas analogy. Like imagine if you go to Vegas and you find a penny slot machine and you put in 100
Mm-hmm.
pennies and it spit out $40, $80, whatever. Would you stop? Would you just get up and leave? I don't think most people would, but that does seem to be what's happening. I would stay there and keep feeding in pennies until my return went way
Mm-hmm.
down. But if it kept giving me, 40 to 1 returns on my time sitting there and on my money, like I would stay at the seat, but it seems like a lot of brands are getting up from the seat.
Interesting.